Hello friends and welcome back to the course. In this section, we will discuss the very important and interesting topic of arrays. We will start by understanding the need of arrays in programming. Then we will look at some real-world examples to understand the utility of arrays in our day-to-day lives. With this basic understanding in place, we will move on to learn about the syntax and working of single-dimensional arrays in Java. After that, we will look at more advanced concepts of searching, sorting, and double-dimensional arrays. Let's dive into arrays. Variables are useful for keeping track of a single piece of information. But as we collect more and more information, keeping variables organized can be complicated. For example, what if you wanted to write a program to keep track of each student's marks in your class? Assuming there are 40 students in the class, you need to create 40 variables in this program. Suppose with a lot of hard work, you created these 40 variables and completed your program. Your principal was very impressed with your program and asked you to extend it so that it can keep track of the marks of all the students in the school. Now you are in big trouble. Creating hundreds and thousands of individual variables is impractical. Moreover, the total number of students in the school keeps changing as new students join and current students pass out of the school. So it is impossible to know ahead of time how many variables you will need. In such situations, we need arrays to solve these problems in a much better and efficient way. I showed you a problem that arises out of using variables when dealing with large sets of information and told you that the solution is to use arrays. The next obvious question you have is, what is an array? An array is a way of arranging things in rows and columns. In our day-to-day lives, we come across many things that are arranged as an array. Let's quickly look at few examples. This first example is that of a marching contingent. I am sure you would have also done march past or parade in your school as part of the physical training classes. In a marching contingent, soldiers are arranged in rows and columns, forming a rectangular or square-shaped contingent. It helps in organizing the contingent efficiently. In this next example, we see the popular Croson tablets lined up in a foil blister pack to create an array. In warehouses, bags are stacked up in rows and columns forming arrays. For a gathering, chairs are usually arranged in rows and columns. From now on, whenever you will see things arranged in rows and columns, these examples will immediately remind you that they are organized as an array. Arrays are of two types: multidimensional arrays and single-dimensional arrays. In a multidimensional or n-dimensional array, items are arranged in two or more dimensions. Take the previous example of arrays we looked at. In each of these examples, the objects are arranged in two dimensions, that is, across rows and columns. Or we can also say that items are arranged across the x and y dimensions. We call them double-dimensional arrays or 2D arrays. Now consider a Rubik's Cube. In a Rubik's Cube, the colors are arranged across the three dimensions of the cube, that is, its length, breadth, and height, or x, y, and z dimensions. So this is an example of three-dimensional or 3D arrays. Theoretically, you can have even higher dimensional 4D, 5D, 6D arrays and so on. But beyond 3D arrays, it is very difficult to visualize them. In a single-dimensional array, items are arranged across only the x dimension. So a single-dimensional array has only a single row and one or more columns. A good example of a single-dimensional array is a queue of people. It has just one row and each person in the queue can be considered as a column. ICSE Computer Applications syllabus includes only single and double-dimensional arrays. So we will limit our discussion to only these two types of arrays in this course.